I'm in love with me, and it's not conceit, just the way it should be. Not afraid to express who I am. And honestly, it doesn't bother me to fit the category. Free to be me, so free. Yeah. You see, when you have learned to appreciate love yourself, is when you can truly, truly love somebody else. You see, when you have learned to appreciate love yourself, is then you can truly, truly love somebody else. I have learned.
Ready? Ready like Freddie? Allie, what's going on?
Hello.
Hey, friends and family. Today we're here with my baby, my boo, my sugar plum, Alyssa Yvonne, the CEO and president of the Speak Up Home. I am I like to record and keep track of progression. So if you look at my my YouTube channel, you see a lot of videos about my kids and how I put these things together. So I like to track that. I like to go back and see where it comes from and where we are now. So entrepreneurs obviously don't have the time to document where they have begun and where they have ended. So I'm hoping that this will serve as kind of like a historical record of the beginnings of entrepreneurs and their businesses. So today, testing out the platform, and Allie's my my first guinea pig.
You got to use my business name. You got to say Alyssa Yvonne.
Oh, okay. Alyssa Yvonne. Alyssa Yvonne. I have to make sure, we're branding that name. So
nobody knows who Allie is.
Oh, that's right, Allie. Yeah, I do that to Marsha too. I call her Marsha, then I go Marsha. So I'm going to give Alyssa Yvonne an opportunity to introduce herself. Just in a couple minutes. Just tell us a little bit about her and her new venture. So go ahead. You have the floor, Alyssa Yvonne.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa Yvonne. Friends and family call me Allie, and that's kind of what you heard her saying not too long ago. I am 26, and I'm in the military. I'm stationed in North Carolina. I'm in Fort Bragg. I've been in the Army for about almost 9 years now, and I'm almost ready to head on to my next duty station. So that's kind of where I am career-wise. I'm also a logistician, and I do supply management and things like that for the Army. I have 2 kids. I am a new mother. One of my children is 2, and the other is 1. They're currently napping right now, so we're on mommy time doing this. So hopefully, if anything crazy happens, they don't come running out of their beds or anything. Let's see. So
where you come from? Tell us about your family.
Oh, my family.
Oh, you did. You told us about the little munchkins, my little munchkins.
Yes, the kids, and I have brothers and sisters. I have, and I vaguely brothers and sisters. I have 2 brothers and a sister. 2 of them are still currently in the military, and one of them just got out. But for a long period of time, we were all serving together in the military. Let's see. Obviously, my mother, she's my interviewer. Yeah, and my dad, he is back in Florida. He's an aircraft mechanic. And then, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all that good stuff. I'd be here all day if I were to introduce the rest of them.
All right, cool. Well, obviously you gave us a little bit about your military background. So I guess if I didn't know you, one of the questions I would ask you is, first of all, like, what made you start your own business, and then why that particular type of business?
Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the business that I have a it's kind of a creative business. So what I do is I paint and restore furniture. It just depends kind of what condition the furniture is in that what I decide to do with it. For the most part, I paint and restore furniture. Now,
Why
I'm
did you do
sorry,
that?
what was,
How did
what,
you, yeah, how
okay,
did you get into the
how
whole?
did I get into doing it? So, like I said before, I'm in the military, and being in the military, you don't have control over how much money that you make. And you bring home what you bring home, and it stays consistent unless you get promoted. So for a period of time, a couple of years ago, I wanted to figure out a way to create an additional source of income. I realized that some people in the military did have side businesses. In fact, a lot of people in the military have side businesses that they do, whether it's woodworking. I know some people who sell snow cones at fairs and festivals and things like that. So there are a lot of people who kind of do their own thing on the side. And I was like, well, what can I do on the side to generate my own source of income and have it be something that's enjoyable? Because if I'm not going to enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. So all of my life, I've been like this creative person, and it's always developed itself in different ways. It's never been consistently one thing. For example, when I was stationed in Colorado, I taught myself how to knit. I taught myself how to crochet. I taught myself how to play the guitar briefly. And I've done all these creative ventures, and I never really stuck with anything. I enjoy doing it. I've also taught myself how to sew. I didn't teach myself, excuse me. My grandmother taught me, and then I kind of took that knowledge and created a couple things of my own. But, from those creative ventures, they never really developed into anything. And so once I got married, I had to figure out a way I didn't realize how expensive furniture was. But you see furniture everywhere when you go online and when you search the marketplace. You see furniture, but it's never, none of it matches, and sometimes it's a little beat up. But some things did have good bones. So the creative part of me decided, well, what can I do with this furniture to create what I wanted in something affordable that I can put in my home and make it a comfortable environment. And also, while I'm speaking of a comfortable environment, again, I bring this back to the military. When you move consistently, you have to learn how to make a home from anywhere that you go. And I realized, the few times that I did move, that when you get to a new environment, it's not scary, but you're not comfortable. You have to put your energy into the place that you're in. And, you have to learn just how to be flexible and create the space that makes you happy wherever it is that they put you. So when I did start my business, it was for those two reasons. One, to have furniture and stuff like that on a budget. And then also because I wanted to create a home environment for myself and my family that we can all be comfortable in and enjoy wherever it was that we ended up.
Well, it's usually out of people's necessity sometimes that businesses are spawned. So that sounds very much in line with some of the ventures that other entrepreneurs have embarked upon. And then the creative side, the interesting thing I think about is in terms of what you've done is very soon into this endeavor, you have figured out how to monetize it, how to monetize your art. And usually it takes a little bit of time for people to be able to take something they love and actually make money. Mm-hmm. So just one question, how long have you been in business, first of all?
So I have been painting furniture and restoring furniture for since 2015. I didn't officially determine that I was doing it to make money until June of last year is when I told myself, okay, I'm buying this furniture for the purpose of selling it, not for the purpose of keeping it or practice or whatever it was that I was purchasing furniture before to do. It wasn't until June of this year that I finally incorporated myself and started an LLC. So I registered my business name with the state, and now I'm officially an LLC, recognized as an LLC.
Okay. So you're pretty new on this journey. And if you had to say, and you have some ways to go, obviously, because not only are you young, but your business is young. But if you had to identify a lesson that you have learned over the period of time that you have been in business, become an entrepreneur, what would you say that lesson is?
I would say the biggest lesson I've learned is that as an entrepreneur, you cannot be afraid to take risks. And when I say take risks, I don't mean, do anything crazy, but calculated risks. For a long period of time in my life, I was afraid of taking risks without kind of really analyzing and making sure I knew everything and, anything that could happen. I had to make sure that I was prepared to answer or have a solution. And I had to realize that you're not always going to have that solution. Sometimes you have to just, figure out what's best and kind of go into it with as much information that you have. And as long as it's not going to bankrupt you or, affect or, your family or anything crazy like that, I say go for it. As an entrepreneur, you definitely have to be a risk taker. You have to, I think, definitely taking risks is something that I've learned that as an entrepreneur, you have to do. Otherwise, you won't. I don't think you'll ever fully reach your potential if you don't take certain risks.
And there's some lessons obviously behind that as well. Often when I have taught students when I was teaching in China, I talk about the comfort zone all the time and how dangerous a place the comfort zone is. It's outside of the comfort zone that we grow. So you stepping out into the unknown is the path of the entrepreneur, and these are some of the lessons that we learn along the way. So that's very much in line on time. If you had to identify a challenge that you have as an entrepreneur today, and not just for you, but entrepreneurs in general, what would be, and I mean, the climate in which we are right now in the US is challenging, to say the least. And before COVID, it was challenging to be an entrepreneur. What would you identify or say is one of the greatest challenges for entrepreneurs today?
I think, again, I take it back to risk, really figuring out which risks to take. And then also, as an entrepreneur, a big part of our success is being able to actively and daily work at our craft and put out a product and content and whatever it is that you're doing. And some people, fortunately for me, I have the blanket of the military. I know I have employment. I kind of work around that schedule. But for some people, whether you also have kind of a 9-to-5 or you have another job, it may be difficult for you to actually practice what it is that you're doing and, put a product out there. That way people know that you're serious, and they kind of know the quality of your work. So it's made me realize why sometimes people will quit their 9-to-5 and just dive headfirst and go full on into entrepreneurship, is because you really need to have that headspace to be 100% invested in what it is that you're doing as an entrepreneur. So sometimes, you know, a big challenge for me is, you know, having to balance my career, my kids, my family, and then also what it is that I'm trying to do with, you know, the path that I'm taking in my entrepreneurial journey. So to that, I say, again, risk. So if you cannot risk losing, you know, your day job that pays you, and the money that you bring in, you know, that also helps fund your business sometimes, because it's not 100% standing up on its own, then I would say, you know, continue to work your day job. And sometimes you have to put in more hours, and you have to put in later hours, and you get less sleep. But that's just kind of the route that you have to take with, you know, being an entrepreneur. I have set hours in the military. So, and when I come home, I have kids to take care of. So a lot of times, my business takes place after 10 o'clock at night. And that's just how it goes. Otherwise, you know, if I use that time to sleep, I'll never get anything done. And then I kind of, you know, I lose sight of my dreams. So really it's trying to find the time and the balance.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. The balance between family, career, and business. Is a challenge for many, especially when you're kind of stepping out on it. You're kind of supporting, you're the financial support for your business. You're the investor, and sometimes the sole investor of that. So where do you see the Spruced Up Home in 5-10 years? And Alyssa Yvonne, if you had your ideal wish, I'm your genie, and you could have whatever you want, what would it be?
I honestly see the Spruce Up Home taking on many different facets of everything home. So, you know, that's kind of where I wanted to go. I wanted to obviously go beyond, you know, painting and restoring furniture. I also have been doing a lot of research for years before I had my kids on real estate and real estate investing. And I really want to own a brick and mortar, a storefront that sells. I really want to have a focus on kind of sustainability, home sustainability, and earth sustainability. There's obviously many pros and cons. I'm sorry, not even cons, pros. To refinishing and restoring furniture. There's so much furniture on this planet that we have, and you know, home is one of those basic necessities that I feel like we don't put a lot of emphasis on. I feel like things are kind of, you know, mass produced and thrown together to say here. You know, sometimes, you know, it is necessary that we just have something to do. We just need something to do what it's intended to do. We need a dresser. We go pick up something cheap, and we put it in our house, and we say, yes, here's our dresser. But that doesn't create an environment that makes us happy and that brings us joy. And we are a product of our environment. So if we're not happy at home, then what are we going to bring out into the world, out to our jobs, out to our friends and our loved ones? You know, what are we going to put out? So really, I think it all comes back to home. And creating a beautiful space where you can be happy, where you can lay your head at night, when you can relax with your family and your friends and create memories. So I want to have a storefront that sells things that are preferably handmade, handcrafted by local people. So we're supporting those around us. And it can include furniture, artwork, candles, bath and body products, anything like that that can be put within the home, and even plants, fruits and vegetables. I don't know. It can go as far as your mind can take it. But really, that's kind of what I want to establish in the future. So maybe not a 5-year goal. That might be kind of a 10-year goal. The 5-year goal would be more of an online, an e-commerce where you can get those things. And then in 10 years, I'll be closer to retirement. I can start doing the brick and mortar side of it. and also real estate. So I want to be able to provide homes to people, homes that are still beautiful but are affordable for people. You know, there's ways to make homes beautiful without breaking the bank. Again, there's so many resources available to us where we don't have to buy things brand new. We can buy things secondhand from the marketplace. People constantly selling things that we can use to develop these homes. And when I say develop, I don't mean build a home, but rehab homes and then resell. So that's kind of the direction I want to take with the business eventually in the future, which is why I came up with the name The Spruce Up Home. I feel like it can take on many forms. It's not limiting. And it can kind of blossom and develop into whatever it is that, you know, I feel will really benefit us as a country and as a just species in general.
I think I hear what I hear you saying a lot that you haven't really said, but you kind of alluded to is in terms of what home is. In comparison to furniture that has been mass produced and what have you, you're thinking that home has for it to have a more homey feel, things that are handmade, handcrafted, that kind of brings with it a sense of ownership, not just things that are mass produced all over, but things that are purchased locally. So sounding like you're very much in support of other entrepreneurs as well, to kind of help to support them, having that more or less cooperative type of economic perspective. And in the whole refurbishing of homes as well, goes back to what you're doing with the furniture. So we have enough that we can renovate rather than rebuilding and using up more of the natural resources that we have. So that's commendable that your business has taken that direction, and not only does it have financial benefits, but it also has environmental benefits as well. So that's good. What projects are you working on now? What is the newest thing that you're doing?
I have a couple. There's a couple things that I'm working on. And can I show?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're gonna take a quick. It's gonna be quick trip.
Okay.
But I have a couple of things I'm working on. Only one of them is unwrapped, and that's what I'll show you guys. So this is a client piece. And we're out in my shop, which is my garage.
But
this
many businesses have begun.
I know. So my client wanted a sapphire blue. It's very bold. It's the boldest I've ever done.
Wow.
But she wanted this piece done in sapphire blue. So it's one that she hand selected from my inventory. I have an inventory of furniture, as you can see. But this one she hand selected, so I'm currently working on that. This was a client piece that is almost complete. She wanted the legs done differently. And then this one here, this is a mid-century dresser that's going to be painted in the same blue as this, and the legs are going to be gold. The gold is she wants it to match kind of some furniture that she already has in her house. All of this furniture was hand selected from my inventory. I do keep an inventory of furniture.
Where do you get your inventory from, since you're talking about inventory?
So again, there's things that people are just getting rid of and, selling. Sometimes people, you can get it from estate sales. And you can get some really good quality stuff. So I like to hand select and pick the furniture that I paint or restore. That way I know what quality people are getting. And I make sure that, and it helps to make sure that everything that I produce is up to a specific standard. If I started doing client pieces where people would bring me things, and I'm very, very picky about the stuff that I take in now. So really, I encourage people to select from my inventory. I try to have different things. Only thing I haven't ventured into yet is dining room sets, and that's just because of lack of space right now. But I do a lot of dressers, hutches, end tables, bureaus, buffets, things like that. I do all of those. So yeah, those are the three client pieces I'm working on right now.
Wow. And speaking of that very bold blue, where do you get your paint from? Where do you get?
So my paint. So I just recently, within the last month, I became a retailer for a paint manufacturer. They're called Wise Owl Paints. And you can actually see, this is what their logo and stuff looks like here on this can. But yes, all of the paint that I use, I mostly 95% of the time I use their brand, unless my clients can't find a color that they want, or they have a specific color in mind. I always paint with that brand. It's an extremely durable brand. Their quality, and I always want to bring the best to my clients. So I don't want to use anything cheap, anything that's not going to create a flawless finish. So yes, that's my paint brand, and it can be purchased on my website, which is thespruceuphome.com, and I believe everything is going to be linked in this video. You can get anything from paints to candles to finish, whether it's varnish or enamel, and they also have a line of wall paint. So if you're painting your home, you can also get them on my website as well. Wall paints, they're a luxury brand of matte wall paint, which creates a very, very luxury finish. And the reason why matte wall paint is preferred is because it blurs and kind of scatters the light. So even if your walls are textured or patchy, you won't see any of that. It kind of makes everything look even in one coat, and it's a scrubbable wall paint, which matte wall paints never are. So you can actually scrub this paint, whether you get kids marking on it or anything, you can scrub it and it will not come off. So it's definitely quality, and I encourage everybody to try that paint out and let me know how you like it.
Yep. Well, that sounds like a plan. And speaking of durability, it's a good idea to have, I guess, that kind of paint when you have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old running around, because I can tell you, those of us who have had little children and crayons in the same room and markers, you're going to encounter some of that at some point. No matter how much you think you're going to keep it away from them, it's the likelihood of them painting on.
And if you move furniture around as much as me, you tend to ding up a few walls. So if you have a durable wall paint, it'll definitely help you out.
That's good. Now, I just kind of moving on to more or less the same thing, but I have kind of watched you do your thing, and you have your own little creative spark. And I've watched you work in the workshop. I'm like, how do you see these things? How do you look at what I see when, like, the furniture, the last piece you just showed, I would have never picked that up. I would have been like, oh, okay, that's a piece of junk. And you make it look
a lot of people think like that. That's the sad part, which is why a lot of furniture ends up in landfills.
Yes. So what if I wanted to, I don't know, I have a little, maybe I'm not as talented, I don't have that eye for you. You had one piece you did that, you used some bleach or something, and it came out amazingly. And I always want to buy everything she gets. And I'm just like, is this so? Buy it for Liv or buy it for somebody? I want to have
I have that same problem. I do want to keep everything, yes.
Yes. So if people are not as talented as you, and they're thinking, you know what, that's a good idea. My grandma's old furniture, and I didn't think I could do anything with it. It just kind of was sitting there. Are you going to kind of help guide us along with how to maybe do some of what you do? Can you kind of share some of your expertise and experience?
Yes. So I don't want to give you guys too much information because then you
Okay.
might take my job, but no, I'm just kidding. But yes, so in the near future, I am planning to host and do some online workshops through, and it will be posted on my website and as well as my social media. And they will be available. Some will be donation based. I might do some short, 30-minute long videos, hour-minute long. You make a donation on the website, you'll have access to view the material. But yes, so people do inquire about some of the finishes that I do or some of the techniques that I use. And I will be going, and actually the COO of Wise Owl just spoke with me yesterday. She loves my work and she wants me to actually do a live this week. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't tell my mom that.
What? Okay, wait a minute. I don't know. I'm just finding this stuff out like this. We don't do this.
It happened yesterday. So she messaged me and she wants me to do a live on their social media, kind of on some stuff that I'm working on. So she asked me to put some content together and kind of do a live. But yes, and okay, I'll tell you later. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, so I am planning, and hopefully by doing this live, it'll invite more people over to my social media and to my website. That way they can purchase my material. But yes, I will be doing some workshops in the near future that I will film. People can donate, and then you'll have access to all of the material on my website.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear the details. I'm just kind of finding this out, but one of the things that I like to watch the evolution of business, and over the course of the past 5 or so months, I've watched you kind of take your business to a whole different level, and even now doing this. So you're saying that maybe possibly as soon as this week, you could be hosting a class if it can be scheduled.
Mm-hmm. Really? Yes, it will be a live class, and it will be on their social media. But they link our social medias as well. So anybody that watches it there can also find me in all of my content and be led over to my social media sites. So
Okay. Wow. Well, that is exciting, and that is definitely a good new project that you're on as well that you didn't even mention. When I said project, this is a pretty good one, but that's awesome because a lot of people like myself, I've watched her do the simple part of putting together. She used to do like floating what do you call shelves? Shelves.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she did the little cuts and the little thing. And I'm like, I think I can do that. So little simple things like that, I think I can do.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of peek into the class and develop some of my creativity as well. So that's awesome. That's very good. So I guess we'll look for that this week if you actually do it. I don't know how you're going to fit it in your schedule, but awesome. That's exciting. Anyway, any parting words before we go? Any words of wisdom for people, especially you mentioned something just briefly about social media right now, and I realize the challenge that entrepreneurs must be having this climate, and you have to be able to use social media as a medium through which to expand and grow your business, whether through how-to videos or what have you, is I think a demonstration of the innovativeness of Americans, and you've kind of obviously gone down that path. So as we kind of get ready to go in your youth and this early part of your journey, any parting words for wisdom?
So I actually spoke with a lady that also does furniture painting. You meet a lot of people through social media. And I mentioned to her because she said she wanted to take another path also in her creative journey. So she does, people have asked her to do interior design, and she kept telling herself, she's like, I'm a nobody, who am I to be an interior designer? She does a lot of stuff in her own home, and people are asking her to recreate that in their space. And she's like, No, I'm not an interior designer. I have no background in interior design. I've never taken any courses, I've never done this and that. But she does have a skill, and I just want to tell people that just because you don't have the schooling, or you don't have, you feel as if you don't have the knowledge of something, does not make you less great at what it is that you do, or that you have done. So imposter syndrome is very real. It is real. And sometimes you just have to take that step and say, no, I am creative. I have done this before. I've been doing it for years. I know what I'm talking about. Why don't I start a business or market myself? I may not be able to say, oh, I have X, Y, and Z class and this, that, and the third, but you do have the background that can make you successful. So don't feel as if you can't make it because you don't have a piece of paper that says you are a professional at this. Just jump into it, do it, and again, just take calculated risks, and you'll be surprised what you may find out.
Awesome. I think that is a perfect analysis of kind of the entrepreneurial journey. When you start getting to a certain point and people are recognizing your work, entrepreneur usually belittles themselves. They're like, it can't be me, no, what have you, and really believing in ourselves is definitely one of the imposter syndrome is definitely big, especially for overachievers. You never think it's enough. But as you mentioned, just one baby step at a time, one success at a time, and Alyssa Yvonne will be branded in somebody's store, if not her own, maybe sooner than later. So great words to close by. I wish you continued success on your journey, your entrepreneurial journey.
Just saying that because you're my mom.
Say again.
I said you're just saying that because you're my mom.
I wish all, but especially you, because I see the work and dedication and the level of professionalism that you have in your work, and just how talented you are. So, and you're strategically planning and growing and growing and growing, and things are just coming along. Like, I'm excited about this class. I want to take it. Me, raise my hand. Me, I want to be in it. So I'm going to get on the site and I'm going to follow you. I'm going to be trolling. I call it trolling on. What's she doing now? What you selling? Can I buy it? Me. Oh, it's very good. I'll be in the class in the front row. So I want to wish you all the best. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to try this out. And I'm going to put it all together and put you out there along with others. You will also find that as I continue interviewing this week, you are in good company. You come from good entrepreneurship. So there are several of people in our family that will be interviewing this week who are also entrepreneurs. So I look forward to having those conversations, some further along the journey than you, some middle of the journey, and some at the beginning of the journey. So it's definitely exciting times, especially for entrepreneurs. Thank you again for your time. I know that you have maybe a couple more minutes, or maybe it's one more free hour before the babies wake up. So go ahead and enjoy it. Thanks again, and we will be in touch, babes.
All right. Thank you.
All right, baby. Bye-bye.
Bye.